Hello everyone, welcome to Daily Prelims Current Affairs by Ekam IAS. Today on the 27th June, the topics we'll be dealing are Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanction Act, 2+1 format, Global Solar Bank, Billy's Reef and Thomson Reuters Foundation poll. The first topic is Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanction Act. So what is this Countering America's Adversaries through Sanction Act? It is a federal law that is passed to counter the aggression by the America's rivals through punitive measures. It mainly targets countries like Iran, North Korea and Russia. Title 2 of this act deals exclusively with Russia. So how does this act affect India? In addition to imposing sanctions upon Russia, this law also has provisions to impose sanctions on persons or countries engaged in a significant transaction with Russian defense and intelligence sectors. So this significant transaction doesn't mean purely on monetary value. It takes also into account the significance of the transaction to US national security and foreign policy interests, the nature and magnitude of this transaction, and also the significance of the transaction to the defense or intelligence sector of the Russian government. So as we all know, India has deep defense ties with Russia. Russia is the predominant supplier of arms for India. So this means US can actually impose sanctions upon India. There are around 12 sanctions that the President of US can impose on parties that engage transactions with Russia. Two of the most stringent of these sanctions are export license restriction and the other is ban on American investment in equity or debt of the sanctioned person. With regard to the export license restriction, the US President can impose restrictions on export licenses related to military equipments, dual use and nuclear related items. Other sanctions are of less relevance to India. So as of now, no sanctions have been imposed on any country, but if it is implemented in its stringent form, it will affect India's defense ties with America. If this act is being implemented, India's planned procurement from Russia, particularly the S-400 air defense system, will come under the immediate scanner of US authorities. So if there is restrictions imposed on India, this will also affect the potential buying of Guardian drone from USA. The extent to which Countering America's adversaries through Sanction Act would affect Indo-US defense relations will depend on what sanctions, if any, the US will impose on India in view of India's continued defense cooperation with Russia. So in the upcoming 2+2 dialogue between India and US, India will be placing its objections related to this Countering America's adversaries through Sanction Act. The next topic is 2+1 format. 2+1 format is a new type of dialogue mechanism which was proposed by China recently. Under this proposal, two major countries can have a dialogue along with a regional country. For example, under this Chinese proposal, China and India can jointly conduct a dialogue with a third regional country. The point that is to be noted is it is with a regional country. This would dampen the hesitation of a regional country which may be in a Cold War-like situation between the two major powers. Next topic is Global Solar Bank. International Solar Alliance is planning to set up a Global Solar Bank, and this bank is to finance solar projects exclusively. This International Solar Alliance plans to approach multilateral development banks like Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank to create a special purpose vehicle to specifically finance solar projects. Special purpose vehicle in simple terms can be said like a subsidiary. This SPV or Special Purpose Vehicle is aimed at financing around $150 billion, and this would be acting as a World Solar Bank. So coming to International Solar Alliance, this International Solar Alliance was launched by India and France at the UN Climate Change Conference in Paris in 2015. It is a coalition of solar resource-rich countries which are lying partially or fully between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn to specifically address energy needs by harnessing solar energy. It is a treaty-based alliance of 121 prospective solar-rich member nations. So some of the objectives of this International Solar Alliance is that this alliance aims to mobilize more than $1 trillion into solar energy by the year 2030. It also will undertake joint efforts required to reduce the cost of finance and the cost of technology, and also to pave the way for future technologies adapted to the needs of these 121 countries. So currently 65 nations have signed this International Solar Alliance Framework Agreement. A key point that is to be noted here is that the International Solar Alliance is the first international body that will have a secretariat in India. About the structure of this organization, it will be a two-tier structure. The assembly and the secretariat will be there. Each member country will be represented in the assembly, and this assembly will meet annually at ministerial level at the seat of International Solar Alliance. So there is a 2016 prelims question regarding International Solar Alliance. Let's take a look at it. Consider the following statements. The International Solar Alliance was launched at the UN Climate Change Conference in 2015. The second statement is the alliance includes all the member countries of the UN. We just saw that the first statement is right, that is, this was launched on Conference of Parties 21, COP21, held at Paris under the United Nations Climate Change Conference. But the second statement is wrong, that is, the alliance bring together around 120 nations only that have more than 300 days of sunlight in a year. So as I said, the first statement is correct, but the second statement, the alliance includes all the members of the UN, is wrong, because it is intended for around like 121 solar energy rich countries. Next topic is Belize Reef. The UNESCO has removed the Mesoamerican coral reef in Belize from its list of threatened World Heritage Sites. Belize Reef is an outstanding natural system consisting of the largest barrier reef in the Northern Hemisphere. It is located in the Northern Hemisphere. Please note. So it is that's why it is the largest barrier reef in the Northern Hemisphere. This Mesoamerican coral reef actually stretches from Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula all the way to Honduras, and including this the 380 kilometers in water of Belize, the portion covered by the World Heritage Declaration. This Belize Reef is the largest reef complex in the Atlantic Caribbean region. It is the second largest reef system in the world after the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. The reef was inscribed as the UNESCO's World Heritage Site in 1996, but because of the Belize government's plan to allow oil exploration nearby the reef, it was placed on endangered list in 2009. So there was wide protest against this oil exploration, and that forced the Belize government adopt a series of laws to protect the reef. And those steps have ultimately resulted in the removal of this reef from the threatened World Heritage Site list. So talking about this Belize country, it is situated in the eastern coast of Central America. It is a Central American country. So as you can see, it is bordered on the north by Mexico, on the south and west by the Guatemala, and on the east by the Caribbean Sea. So the last topic for the day is a poll conducted by Thomson Reuters Foundation. According to this poll, India has been ranked as the most dangerous country for women. As I already said, the poll was conducted by the Thomson Reuters Foundation and it was based on various women issues. The organization surveyed around 550 experts and these respondents included academics, aid and development professionals, health workers, policy makers, NGO workers, journalists, etc. And they were asked to rank, and these respondents were asked to rank countries based on a number of key issues, including access to health care, prevalence of sexual abuse and discrimination. And so as per this survey, India is the worst, most dangerous country for women due to the high risk of sexual violence and the forced slave labor. This Afghanistan and Syria ranked second and third, followed by Somalia and Saudi Arabia. The only Western nation in the top 10 list is US. It's placed on the 10th position. So the poll was a repeat of a survey in 2011. In 2011, India was placed fourth among the most dangerous countries for women. Globally, it is estimated that 1 in 3 women experience physical or sexual violence during her lifetime, and nearly 150 million women and girls are getting married before they attain the age of 18. However, the results of this poll has attracted criticism because of the small sample size. The sample size taken here is around like 550, which means that it is too early to arrive at conclusions. So with this, we wind up today's current affairs session. For more news and detailed explanations, please refer to our Neo IAS current affairs material. Thank you for watching.